Today we're working on the sixth and final movement from Violet Archer's 6 Miniatures for Viola and Piano. Welcome back. Welcome to the studio. My name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. So today we're working on the sixth and final movement from Violet Archer's piece for viola and piano from Barbara Barber's book, Solos for the Young Violist. And in this piece we've got another mode, another Phrygian scale. If you're not familiar with modes, I did do a little bit of a tutorial about that on the first movement, so I'll post that below. And if you're not familiar with the Phrygian mode, we saw that in the previous movement, in movement 5. So it's the same exact scale. It's a natural minor scale with a lowered second. So we're going to play that. It's at the beginning of the page. We're going to start on our first finger, E. And here's our lowered second, F natural. Back down. So just like in the Phrygian scale in the previous movement, our finger pattern is the same on both of our strings. So it's a low 2 on both strings, if it helps to organize that way in your head. So this is a quick movement. We're going to do a tutorial first, then we'll do a slow playthrough and a fast playthrough. And if you want to skip ahead to any of those, I do post those in the comments below, so check that out there. So let's go right from the beginning. We'll do a quick little tutorial. We've got a bunch of slurred notes where the first note doesn't have a dot, but the second note does. So I want to be longer and then cut that second note off a little bit short. Now to help me achieve that and to still get a little bit of ring on the note, I'm just ever so slightly releasing my bow from the string, and I'll show you that a little bit closer. So I'm not staying on the string when I stop. Release, set. So from this angle, release, set. 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 If I keep my bow on the string, it sounds a little bit dead. Almost as if I was choking the sound, so that release of the bow can help the note continue to ring out. I'm going to go back to the beginning because it's easier to start there. Cut that note short, release, set, set, set. Same idea here, release, set, set, set. Etc. So we've got that same rhythmic pattern throughout the beginning of the piece. So always make sure that you're releasing your bow and setting it. And I'm making it look maybe a little bit easier than it is. Once your bow is in the air, having a soft and controlled landing is a little bit difficult. So if you're struggling with that, I would recommend taking out the notes and the rhythms completely and just doing it on an open string. So like, for example, just open D. Set. Set. A lot of times what happens is when you go to set, you're going to crash in and you're going to get a bunch of bouncing notes, especially for here. That might happen. There's a couple of things that are causing that. You're maybe lifting a little bit too high above the string. I'm maybe a millimeter above, so I don't need to do this. And reset it. It's just a very tiny lift and a set. Set. Show you even closer. So very close. So you might want to just practice that on an open string. The faster we go, the less bow we're going to use, so you don't need to be using an entire bow for this rhythmic pattern. It's even harder to set up here and not get that bounce. So stay in the middle of the bow. Continuing on at letter K, I have changed the bowing here because I think it just feels a little bit better to start this up as opposed to down. And if you do want my bowings or my parts that have all my bowings and fingerings in them, I post these on Patreon. There's a link below if you'd like to join our community there. You're more than welcome. So at letter K, I'm going to start up bow, not down bow. It gives us that chance to release and reset. Still up. Still up. Now this will be up as well at 27. Release, set. Now that's the same thing, but piano. Up, set, crescendo, retake, down bow, shift, and then we're going to set for that final pitch at the end. One thing I didn't talk about was the time signature at the beginning. So in any time signature, the number that's on the top indicates how many beats are in the measure, and the bottom indicates what rhythmic value gets one beat. In this case, it's an 8, so it's an 8th note that gets one beat. So for each measure, I'm essentially counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then that measure is complete and I go on to the next one. So from the beginning, my counting, because I only have one 8th note in that first measure that I play in, I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, etc. So anytime you've got an 8th rest, it's really equal to 1 beat in 6/8. Maybe you're used to like 3/4 or 4/4, where an 8th rest is equal to half a beat, but because our bottom number is an 8, it gets 1 full count. I did briefly mention this before, but because this is a faster piece, we're going to stay in the middle of the bow. If I get into the extremes, it doesn't sound so good. So we're going to try to stay in the middle. The faster we go, the less bow we're going to use. So stay in the middle. The only time that becomes a little bit of an issue is when we have those longer slurs. So I'm going to try to plan ahead. So if I start in the pickup to measure 10, I'm going to plan to be lower in the bow when that happens so that I'm not caught in the extremes. You're going to see this also happen in measure 14 and in measure 16. So just watch out for those. Make sure that you're making your bow plan and planning ahead for the longer slurs. So I think we're ready to do our slow playthrough. I'm going to set my metronome to 70. And each click is a half measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to count to 5 before we begin. Set your bow in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that we've done our slow playthrough, we're going to do our at-tempo playthrough, which is marked as 120. And again, each click is a half measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll count a whole measure before we play, and then to 5, and then we'll come in on beat 6. 1, 2, 1, 2. On this piece since movement 1, congratulations on finishing all 6 movements. These should be played one after the other. So once you finish movement 1, you take your time, set for movement 2, and then continue. It's not like there's 6 individual pieces, so it should be performed all as one. Thank you as always for joining me today. I hope that you found this useful. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, please let me know. Please post them in the comments below. I really enjoy trying to help from afar. And as always, happy practicing.